The Fox 61 News at 10 starts now.
Breaking news here at 10. The federal government shutdown, now in its 40th day, is closer than ever to ending. The Senate has reached a deal to fund the government until the end of January, and this all comes as more than 2,000 flights were canceled today, and thousands of Connecticut families are concerned about their SNAP benefits. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Brent Harton.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. We'll get to the latest on the government shutdown in just a moment. But first, it's going to be a rainy morning commute for you.
Probably a chilly one as well. Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank is here with the first check of the forecast. Right?
Yeah, and the system that will bring us that rain for tomorrow morning will also usher in the coldest air of the season for Veterans Day. Some high temperatures may not make it out of the 30s. We're looking at this rain here to the south and west of us. However, you're seeing a lot of lightning and heavy rain. This is going to diminish in intensity as it moves toward Connecticut, but that's part of the rain that will reach us as we head into tomorrow morning. Right now, we're looking at pretty mild temperatures, and we don't see the numbers drop very much tonight. In fact, they'll mainly hold steady as we head towards daybreak. So it is a rainy start to the day. If you are waking up and the roads are still dry, you might get lucky and make it to work or school dry before the rain really starts to fill in. It depends on what time you're heading out, but for most, it's a wet commute. Might be splashing through some puddles, and we'll continue to see scattered showers through the afternoon. Temperatures tomorrow aren't so bad, but tomorrow I think is going to be the warmest day of the week. By tomorrow night, we are drying out and temperatures will be crashing. There's a freeze watch in effect for the shoreline heading into Tuesday morning. The temperatures that'll be dropping back into the 20s for many in the state. And again, high temperatures for Veterans Day will only be in the 30s to around 40 degrees. And there's even a chance with a gusty breeze that there could be some flurries in parts of the state. So to go along with that kind of wintry appeal. But we don't stay this cool for too long. Already by Wednesday, temperatures are rebounding. We'll talk more about it. Your full forecast is coming up.
Thank you, Rachel. The government shutdown could be coming to an end after the Senate reached a deal to extend funding.
The Senate is voting on the first steps to end the shutdown after some Democrats agreed to proceed without a guaranteed extension of health care subsidies. CNN is reporting the deal would set a vote on government health care subsidies in December. Democrats have demanded the Trump administration extend those subsidies for a year to prevent health care premiums from skyrocketing. The proposed agreement also would reverse President Trump's firings of federal employees and prevent similar actions in the future. The deal also would ensure SNAP benefits are funded until the end of September of 2026. A final vote in the Senate still must take place then. The bill would go back to the House and then the president's desk.
You know, you have to wonder whether the Trump administration is purposely causing this chaos. It's heartbreaking for people that depend upon it. I can only imagine.
Yesterday, Governor Ned Lamont said all recipients of SNAP here in Connecticut have access to their benefits.
But earlier today, the Trump administration ordered states to reserve that funding. Fox 61's Kate Pattyfoot heard from the experts about what this means.
To put it frankly, people I spoke with say the back and forth with SNAP has caused a lot of anxiety for people. This is all unprecedented times, and we are still working to understand how this will impact people after November.
I think a lot of people felt like if they didn't run to the grocery store to kind of max out their benefits, that they would have been taken back. But, you know, we want them to shop responsibly. And this is really tough because they don't understand everything that's going on. We all don't understand what's going on.
Community activist Jendaya Scott says she has been advising families to remain calm during all of this.
It's new, it's unprecedented, and we don't know what to do, but we have been guiding our families to take the time, breathe, relax, get what you need, not overspend.
Confusion continues to linger after President Donald Trump made another SNAP benefit announcement Sunday. He wants states to reverse full SNAP benefits issued under the recent court orders. However, Governor Lamont says, quote, Connecticut does not need to take back SNAP benefits, and to those who receive their benefits, they should not worry about losing them. This all comes after SNAP benefits were issued to 360,000 people in Connecticut on Saturday.
A quarter of those households are working. Those are our people that we see in the grocery store ringing out our groceries.
Angela Maddie, a professor at Quinnipiac University, says this causes chaos to the most vulnerable population.
People don't realize that when you take away SNAP, you take away nutrition, you have a cascade effect of poor outcomes in education. People tend to get sicker. So this is a preventive mechanism to keep costs down in healthcare in particular.
And this is already putting a strain on people in Connecticut. Tamika Cole, Vice President of Development and Communications at the Boys and Girls Club of Hartford, says she's noticed the stress this has put on students and their employees.
We have our board members, we have community partners who are asking, what can we do? Every day we're receiving emails from them, and we are saying we are going to provide you with a list, and they want to make sure that they're making a huge impact for our kids and as our employees, because employees are important too.
Cole says she and her team will continue making sure the students and employees at the Boys and Girls Club receive food that they are familiar with during all of this uncertainty. In Hartford, Kate Patty Foote, Fox 61.
On my way to the airport today, flying back to Sarasota, and I get the alert this morning that it's been canceled, yesterday, so now I'm scrambling trying to find a flight back.
Do you have any good options right now?
No, right now it's just getting through this fiasco.
Traveler tensions are high tonight. Some flights have been out of commission because of air traffic reductions. And today alone, 2,000 flights were canceled, the most since these cuts began. Those slashes are meant to relieve some of the pressure on air traffic controllers who haven't seen a paycheck for a month.
Now, some controllers have stopped showing up to work entirely. Fox 61's Stefan Reels joins us with the latest on what airports have seen so far.
Yeah, Brent, Sarah, on top of those 2,000 flights you just mentioned that were canceled today on Sunday, over the course of the weekend, we had more than 1,000 flights that were canceled on Friday alone, and more than 1,500 flights that were canceled on Saturday. And with more cancellations likely on the way, the managing editor of the travel website, The Point Guys, says you need to act quick if you were supposed to be on one of those canceled flights.
You got to run to that gate agent. You got to get on the phone. You should message these airlines on social media. You got to use all the tools in the toolbox to try to get yourself rebooked. Because remember, there's fewer flights, and that means more demand, and that means there's fewer seats. So you're competing against all those people that were on that canceled flight with you.
At the moment, only 4% of air traffic at 40 of the country's busiest airports have been reduced. But that is going to increase over the coming week. On Tuesday, 6% of air traffic will be reduced. On Thursday, it'll be at 8%, and on Friday, 10% of air traffic will be reduced at those airports. However, Sunday Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said this could maybe even go up to 20% if the government shutdown continues.
It's only going to get worse. I look to the 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, you're going to see air travel be reduced to a trickle. We have a number of people who want to get home for the holidays. They want to see their family. They want to celebrate this great American holiday. Listen, many of them are not going to be able to get on an airplane because there are not going to be that many flights that fly if this thing doesn't open back up.
AAA has these recommendations if you plan on traveling by air over the next few days. So before you go to the airport, make sure you download both the airline and the airport's app to be notified as soon as possible of a change to your flight. Also add an extra hour to how early you leave for the airport. So 3 hours for domestic flights, 4 for international. And also don't be afraid to look into travel insurance. However, those policies vary airline to airline. And Brent, Sarah, due to these delays, a lot of the impacted airlines have been rather flexible with allowing people to rebook their flights and help them out, or just refund the flights entirely if they don't want them. However, it is important to note that during this entire interesting time for travelers, these airlines are not required to cover hotels or meals due to this cancellation at all.
Yeah, that makes it difficult. I'm sure
It's
for a lot of people.
hassle for travelers for sure.
Very much so. It's even changed up how people are traveling now.
for
I've
sure.
spoken to a few people over the past few days covering this, and not only did I speak to someone who was going to Chicago and didn't know if they were going to get back or not because Chicago is one of those impacted airports, they actually said they would be willing to drive 13 hours just to get back to Hartford. And I'm going to go off script a little bit, so apologies for my producer in the back, but I also just got off the phone with my friend. He had been trying to fly out of Newark, one of the most impacted airports, for 2 straight days, and just overnight decided to drive all the way down to Florida just because he couldn't take it anymore. And even if you haven't changed your travel for this, some people are just deciding to camp out entirely. We actually have a photo from the Atlanta airport right there. People have turned to using their luggage as pillows to camp out after their flights had been canceled. And fun fact for everyone, not so fun for these travelers right here, Atlanta leads the day with the most air cancellations at 570, and that is more than twice the amount of the second place finisher. That was Newark. They had 265. I'm also going out of Newark in a little over a week and a half, so little nervous on that, but I'm a little lucky because I'm traveling internationally, so those aren't really the flights that are about to be impacted. Really, it's those domestic flights and regional flights. And the points guy who I had talked to earlier, he said that the flights that are going to be impacted might be those ones that aren't filled as much. So keep an eye out on that.
Well, keep your fingers crossed that this whole thing ends soon.
And the airline industry has already been hit with other issues.
Very much
I'm sure this is going to have a ripple effect.
The air traffic controller has been a repeated thing, and even if the shutdown does wrap up, it's going to take a few days for this to sort itself out.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Thank you, Stefan. Well, developing tonight, a 21-year-old man is seriously hurt after he crashed his motorcycle. Manchester police say this happened just before 2 this afternoon near Grant and Heartland Roads. Police say the man lost control of his motorcycle and crashed near the intersection. He was taken to the hospital. If you saw what happened, witnessed anything, call Manchester Police.
Well, in Stamford, police say a person died early this morning after they were hit by a car last night. Happened on High Ridge Road around 10:30 p.m. Police say a 54-year-old person was crossing the street when they were hit. There are no marked crosswalks in the area. They were taken to the hospital where they sadly died. The driver stayed on the scene and is cooperating. If you have any information about what happened there, call Stamford Police.